have a little place there to spend some of the winter months that are really cold, where we're going to be living in the States. And but you know, that's sort of a long-term plan.
Can you tell us where you're planning on moving?
Oregon. Yes, Oregon. My brother and my mother live there now, and so we've been talking for like 10 years about getting closer, you know, and we're actually making it happen.
Okay, just hand that.
Hi, Stephen from Belgium. I was just talking about parting ways, and I was wondering when Dominic wrapped up the third film of Lord of the Rings, the crew, because they had been together for a long while, they all took the same tattoo. I was wondering if you would do the same with your fellow Lost cast members. What would it be? What symbol would it be?
I don't know, man. That wouldn't be something that I'd be too interested in doing. I mean, honestly, I love tattooing, but my tattoos are very, very personal to me, and so the idea of sort of group tattooing is not something I'd be too attracted to.
Is there a word or a symbol that would be appropriate?
No, honestly, it's too complex to boil down to one word or symbol, I would think, for all of us. I mean, you know, and you know, honestly, you know, anytime you have a large group of people and you have a cast as large as the cast of Lost, you know, there are certain relationships that are more intense than others. I mean, that's bound to happen. In fact, there are certain people on the show that just don't really get along very well, and that's understandable, you know. But yeah, I mean, so saying goodbye to that is going to be sort of, for everybody, I think, an individual experience of like who they've really gotten very close with over the 5 years.
Okay, right over here.
Hi, Emma from the UK. It's become really exciting Lost with the time travel aspect. Can you give us any hints of how that might affect the series to come?
Well, you know, the 5th year ends with this question of whether or not what Jack believes will happen when he sets off this hydrogen bomb, whether it works. And so, so the 6th season will start with that answer, and I think it'll be a very surprising, and probably fairly confusing initially to the audience, and then I think relatively soon into the year, the two time frames are going to be solidified into one time, and we will be operating in a more of a linear time through the end of the series. There will be like a third of the way in, I would guess. We're going to get on one time frame, and it will be very linear, no more flashbacks, nothing. It will be very linear on the island and sort of a final conflict to the end.
Okay, here in the back.
Andreas from Germany. What kind of movies you want to do in the future? And what is the difference for you to work for TV or for the movie business?
Well, you know, with films, you sign on to the story, and it has a beginning and an end, and you set off for 3 months to shoot the mosaic of all those little pieces in there, and then it's done, and you say goodbye to everybody, and you know that at some point in a year or so you're going to have a publicity responsibility to go out and sell, hopefully, what is a very good movie. And you know, it's one of the frustrations with television is that you sort of sign on for something, and then it's just sort of, you know, it just goes on and on. You never really signed on for that, although I've been very fortunate. Both the things that I've worked in have been things I'm very, very proud of. So that's one of the major differences. It's just that a film is contained, and you know what that story is, you know what every piece of that story is, and you can sort of arc it and do those little pieces of it more specifically, I think. And you also have a lot more time. I mean, we shoot sometimes 7, even 8 pages of material a day almost, and so you know, the films that I've worked on, it's just been astounding to me to do like a half a page or a page of material, and you know, the amount of time that you have to sort of get it as good as you possibly can, and what it ends up looking like is obviously very different. The types of films, you know, I'm just really, for me, I don't have any specific genres of films. I mean, I would love to do a Western someday. You know, I mean, if I stay in this business, that's one of the things that is on my sort of, I gotta do a Western list. But genres of films for me, it's just really about, it's all about filmmaker when you're dealing with films. You know, I want to work with great directors and really feel like I've been very fortunate to work with the people that I have so far. And when it comes to making decisions and choosing films, the filmmaker is the biggest piece of the pie. Obviously, you want the script to be great, but you can oftentimes see a script that's not quite there. But if you're working with a filmmaker that's really, really very, very talented and very specific about what the vision of the film is going to be, yeah, the filmmaker is really the largest piece. And there are other elements, but so I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see.
All right, we just have time for one last question right here.
Yes, I know you can't divulge anything as to the specifics of the ending of Lost, but can you tell us already how enthusiastic you are yourself? I mean, is it worth the wait, basically?
I think the show is going to end in an incredibly powerful, very sad and beautiful way. And yes, I think it's going to be incredibly satisfying and cathartic and redemptive and beautiful. You know, I talked to Damon about it pretty extensively, and every time I talk to him, it's sort of surprising how moving it is just to sort of talk about it. I mean, we've been through a lot together, and specifically through that character. So the way it's going to end, I think, is going to be pretty awesome.
All right, great word to end this press conference. Thank you so much, Monte.
Thank you.